Welcome to the channel. My name is Atum Sphinx. No AI voiceovers here, just a mage, a microphone, and a story to tell. This isn't a guide, and it isn't a tier list. It's the story of how becoming a frost mage changed the way I looked at World of Warcraft, and strangely enough, parts of my life outside the game. To explain that, I need to take you back to 2006. When I was 14 years old, I was completely hooked on the internet. Back then, social media was very different from what it is today. My friends and I spent hours customizing profiles, sharing music, editing images, promoting each other, and building online identities before content creation was really even a thing. I had thousands of friends on MySpace and an alter ego whose name will remain undisclosed for legal reasons and to protect what little dignity survived my teenage years. Like a lot of teenagers, I thought that character represented who I wanted to be. Years later, when I created my first mage in World of Warcraft, that became his name. The funny thing is, mage wasn't even my main. I started as a blood elf rogue and absolutely loved it. Coming from RuneScape, melee classes made sense to me. Run up to the enemy, click the target, hit your abilities, collect the loot, move on. Simple. Mage felt completely different. It felt squishy and complicated, like a class for people with skills I didn't have. Positioning mattered too much, or awareness, or movement, and every mistake felt expensive. So while the mage existed, it never really lived. I would log onto it occasionally, but I never committed. Instead, I gravitated towards melee classes. I tanked and anything that felt a little more forgiving. That's pretty much how things stayed for nearly 20 years. But fast forward to World of Warcraft Midnight, like many returning players, I chose familiarity. I boosted a Paladin because Paladin was comfortable, it's proven, it was safe, and then right before launch, my wife challenged me to try something different. Now that sounds like a small thing, but it really wasn't, because even though I knew I could always go back to Paladin, there was still resistance. I had fear. Not fear of failure exactly, more like fear of leaving something comfortable for something unknown. I had spent years convincing myself that mage wasn't really for me, that it required too much movement or awareness. But eventually I swallowed my pride and I gave it a real chance. That's when my Frost Mage journey actually began. At first I was drawn to Frost because of PvP. After spending years on my tank classes, the ability to control the pace of a fight felt amazing. I wasn't trying to survive mistakes anymore, I was actually trying to prevent them. I could slow people down, create distance, create space, and if things went wrong, I had tools to escape. That immediately clicked for me. And then of course there was Blink. I've always loved teleportation. If you asked me to choose a superpower from fiction, portals or teleportation would be near the top of the list. The ability instantly moves you from one place to another to cross impossible distances to appear exactly where you need to be. Blink became one of my favorite abilities almost immediately. And honestly, portals in general are probably still one of the powers I choose in real life. But over time I realized Frost Mage wasn't connecting with me because of the mechanics. It was connecting with me because of the archetype. Outside of gaming, I've spent years studying mythology, astronomy, tarot, symbolism, and the stories people use to understand themselves. And no matter where you look, the mage always appears. The wise guide, the teacher, the keeper of knowledge, the person who helps begin the journey. For most of my life, I gave that title to other people. Whenever I met someone wise, they became the mage. Whenever I met someone successful, they became the mage. Whenever I met someone who seemed to have answers, I assumed they knew something I didn't. And without realizing it, I kept placing myself into a different role, the fool. Not foolish, just always searching, always seeking, or looking for the next person to show me the way. But then something changed. Somewhere between the battlegrounds and the portals and the frostboats, I stopped asking who the mage was in my life. And I started asking what it would mean to become one myself. That's when the lessons started appearing outside of the game. A Frost Mage survives through awareness, through positioning, through understanding the battlefield. In PvP, a rogue can randomly appear out of nowhere. In life, problems often do the same thing. Sometimes people genuinely care about you, but they are surrounded by chaos. Sometimes standing too close means taking damage that was never intended for you. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is create space. The more I played Mage, the more I started applying those ideas elsewhere. I became more organized, more deliberate, thoughtful with my decisions. Instead of reacting immediately, I found myself observing first, trying to understand the situation before rushing into it. And honestly, life got better. This channel grew from roughly 50 subscribers to over 14,000 in just a few months. Not because I suddenly became smarter overnight, but because I started trusting my own judgment more. I started acting instead of waiting, creating instead of hesitating, building instead of searching for permission. The funny thing is, my personality is probably closer to a shaman more than a mage. I've spent much of my life around music, spirituality, healing, and community, but wisdom and intellect aren't exactly the same thing. Wisdom listens, intellect understands. And at this stage of my life, understanding was what I needed most. To me, that's what the mage represents. Not power, not dominance, or being better than anyone else, but understanding. The ability to recognize patterns, the ability to solve problems, to navigate the complexity without becoming overwhelmed by it. And maybe that's why this class surprised me so much. For nearly 20 years, Mage was the class I admired from a distance. The class I respected, the class I avoided. Then one day I finally gave it a chance, and in the process discovered that the thing I thought I was looking for in Azeroth was actually something I needed to develop in myself. Since becoming a mage, I felt less like a slave to the grind and more like an astral traveler surfing through the galaxy. These days I actually wish I had a little more time to play the mage. Life is busy, the channel is growing, and projects keep on piling up. But that's great, because for the first time I'm not logging into World of Warcraft to escape my life. I'm logging in because the lessons I found there helped me build one I genuinely enjoy living. Maybe that's the real magic after all. Once again, my name is Atum Sphinx. Thank you so much. If you've made it all the way to this point in the video, I really appreciate your time. If you've liked the music, I have an upcoming album coming out soon with this new music included on it. And please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and continue to help us grow. We appreciate you always. Prosperous love, and I'll see you in the next video.